Bad news for the Seahawks and safety Jamal Adams making the play against Russell Wilson on Monday night. He reportedly will have season-ending surgery on a torn quad tendon that happened on that play. He was placed on injured reserve earlier this week. Likely will not be back this season. He missed 9 games over his first 2 years with the Seahawks. And I got a ton of respect, Peter, for Jamal Adams because, and this applies across the board to all NFL players. You work and train and perfect your body and your craft, and you get yourself to 100%. And then you go out there knowing, inevitably, you're going to be below 100%. And there's a very real chance you're going to have an injury that derails your season, and you got to go back and start all over again. And I'm reminded of J.J. Watt telling you years ago when he had like hernia surgery in Philadelphia, and he was in a really dark place in the hospital room. And how do you keep finding, if you're Jamal Adams, how do you keep finding the will? Whether it's you got a broken finger, so you got a club on your hand, or you're wearing a harness all year because of your shoulder injury, or now you got to go have surgery on this quad tendon and go through months of arduous rehab, all in the name of getting yourself back to a point, or you can go out and tear down your body again. It really is amazing to me that guys so willingly and voluntarily do it, Peter.
You know, the sad part of it for Jamal Adams is, you know, he will now be known as a guy who can't stay healthy because by the end of this year, assuming he misses the whole year, he will have been employed by the Seattle Seahawks for 50 games, and he will have missed 25 of them. And that's a lot of games to miss, especially when you're highly paid, when a team traded so much to get you. But I really have empathy for Jamal Adams because this is a great football player who has had some absolutely, totally rotten luck when it comes to injuries.
Oh, absolutely. And look, I hear this all the time with Christian McCaffrey now. People give him a hard time because he's banged up constantly. It's the nature of the position and the way you play it. This isn't malingering. These guys are going out there, throwing their bodies into these car crashes, as Chris calls them. You're going to get injured. Only the rarest of the rare have a body composition that allows them to go through that kind of physical abuse and emerge from it able to just keep going without periodically needing something to be worked on in some way. And that's where Jamal Adams is. And it's unfortunate. And at what point do you become, as a human being, discouraged and disheartened and unwilling to keep doing it? I praise guys like Jamal Adams and J.J. Watt, guys who have had injuries. Rob Gronkowski, one of the things that amazed me the most about him, he had so many things go wrong early in his career. He was Cavity Sam, the guy from the Operation game. I mean, every time you turn around, Gronk's getting another procedure. And it never changed his view of the world or of football. He was always happy. He was always positive. He was always upbeat. I mean, my goodness, can you imagine keeping that outlook on this sport that is systematically tearing your body down, only to force you to spend time building it back up again, knowing it's going to be torn down again?
Mike, I remember, which Super Bowl was it? It was either the Rams Super Bowl or the Falcons Super Bowl. I forget. But one of the Super Bowls that the Patriots won, okay? And after the game, Rob Gronkowski was so physically depleted and physically ruined after that game because of a thigh bruise that he could barely put an ounce of weight on his leg as he went back and forth to the shower. It was incredibly sad. And I just thought, and Mike, you know what the amazing thing was? He was laughing at one point when a bunch of us were sort of waiting around for him, to finish up. When he was on his way to the shower, he was like guffawing. And I just said to myself, what an attitude this guy has. What an attitude toward life he has. How can you be in the kind of pain he's in right now and laugh? Maybe it's because you just won a Super Bowl, I guess. And it's all worth it if you win the Super Bowl. But I agree with you. I think guys like Gronkowski, guys like J.J. Watt, and Jamal Adams. Look, Jamal Adams got hurt on a play that if you watch that, and I watched the end zone replay of this, of him coming at Russell Wilson, and he was not going to be denied. And his instincts and his physical prowess at blitzing is so good that, to me, that's one of the reasons why it's so sad that he's not going to be around anymore, for the rest of this year. Because he just does look, this was such a great play because of where he came from and evading all of the people he had to evade to get back there. And you can see him riding off on the cart. Something is wrong with me. I don't know what it is, and I am so ticked off right now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.